Hello, good evening. So for today, I am going to discuss the Wilcoxon signed rank test. So let's first discuss what a Wilcoxon signed rank test is. So later on, we will be knowing why it is called a signed rank test. So the Wilcoxon signed rank test is a non-parametric test that looks for differences between two dependent samples. That is, it tests whether the populations from which two related samples are drawn have the same location. It is the non-parametric equivalence of the dependent t-test. This test has been superseded by developments in robust statistical tests. It's included here for historical reasons. So this non-parametric test is used if we are looking for the differences between two dependent samples. As the Wilcoxon sign rank test does not assume normality in the data, it can be used when this assumption has been violated and the use of the dependent t-test is inappropriate. It is used to compare two sets of scores that come from the same participants. This can occur when we wish to investigate any change in scores from one time point to another, or when individuals are subjected to more than one condition. For example, you could use a Wilcoxon signed rank test to understand whether there was a difference in smokers' daily cigarette consumption before and after a 6-week hypnotherapy program. So your dependent variable would be the daily cigarette consumption, and your two related groups would be the cigarette consumption values before and after hypnotherapy program. So in this kind of example, in this kind of situation, if you are if you want to know the difference between on the said program between the no program yet and the after program, then you have to test and you have to use the Wilcoxon sign rank test. So in order for you to know if there is a difference, we have to use this test. You could also use the Wilcoxon sign rank test to understand whether there was a difference in reaction times under two different lighting conditions. So example of this is in this example, your dependent variable would be the reaction time measured in milliseconds, and your two related groups would be reaction times in a room using blue light versus red light. So as you can see on the first example and then on the second example, we are comparing two situations. Not just comparing, but we are looking for the difference between these two. And we have this formula. So W is equal to this formula, the summation of the sign rank test multiplied by the rank. This is itong x sub 2 minus x sub 1 na to, kukuhanin natin yung difference between yung unang situation and then the second situation, the pre and then the post. And then we will be multiplying it with its rank. So for us to know if it is a negative rank or a positive rank. Kaya natin siya tinatawag na signed rank kasi meron tayong sign dito sa rank. So it could be a positive rank or a negative rank. Now, let's have some example. So we have here example number 1. A strength training program is designed to improve core strength. To test its effectiveness, 12 patients are timed in seconds while holding a position called a plank before and after a 3-week strength program. Use the result below, the Wilcoxon signed rank test, and a 1% significance level to test the claim that the program increases core strength. So on the problem, we can see that we are looking for the difference before the program, the 3-week strength program, and after this program. So on the before, dun sa bago gawin yung program, the number of seconds for the first person is 38 seconds nagawa yung planking. On the second person, 47 seconds. And then on the third person, 63 seconds, and so on and so forth. While after the 3-week program, the strength program, yung first person from 38 seconds, naging 67 seconds na yung pagpa-planking niya, yung tinagal niya. And then the second person from 47 to 92. The third person from 63 to 120. Ngayon, ang itetest natin if there is a significant difference between the two. Now, we have to get the difference between the pre and then the post. So to do this, we will just be subtracting yung pre with the post. So we have 38 minus 67, so negative 29, and then we will just be doing it until the very pinakababa. So 47 minus 92, 63 minus 120, 50 minus 75. So we will be doing that. So we have negative 29, negative 45, negative 57, negative 25, negative 28, negative 30, negative 33, negative 31, negative 87, negative 79, negative 74, and negative 83. So these are the differences between the pre and the post 3-week strength program. Then we will be getting the absolute value of these. So we know that when we say the absolute value, kukuhanin lang natin yung value niya without the positive or the negative sign. Now we have 29, 45, 57. So nawala lang yung mga negative signs niya. And as you can see, since increasing naman talaga from wala pang program to after the 3-week strength program, we can see that it increases yung number of seconds nung pagpa-planking nung tao. Kaya kung makikita natin for the difference, they are all negative. And from the absolute value, inalis natin yung sign, naging positive na siya. Now, we will be ranking this. When we say we will be ranking this, then we will be, titingnan natin yung rank niya. But then, it's not totally the rank, but kasi we have to see also yung, since ang tinatanong dito is the signed rank. So we have to rank this. We have ang one dito is this one. This is the first one, pinakamababa. And then we have, this is the second, and then the third, and then we have the fourth, then we have the fifth, and then the sixth, and then the seventh is here, and then this is the eighth. Then we have the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and then the 12th. So yan na yung signed rank niya, but then katulad nga ng sinabi natin, signed rank. So we have to make this all negative. Gagawin lang natin siyang negative. Yan. And then, as you can see here, we have the sum of the negative and the sum of the positive. Since negative naman lahat, then we will just be adding these all. So we have the sum and then this one. And makikita nyo dyan, that is equal to negative 70. And then for the positive, that is 0. Why? Bakit siya 0? Kasi kung makikita ninyo, wala naman tayong positive na rank dito. So puro lang siya negative rank. Then now, let's continue this. So in doing this, for the null hypothesis, yung issue natin is that there is significant, there is no significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program. And for the alternative hypothesis, we have there is a significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program. Again, for the null hypothesis, we have meron daw siyang wala daw siyang significant difference. For the alternative naman is meron siyang significant difference. Now, so what is N? Ang N natin dito ay, as you can see, we have 12 persons. 12 yung tinitingnan natin dito. 12 patients. And then, thus, for the negative, the sum of the negative, this is negative 70. And then next is, we have to get the, and then sabi dito sa problem, yung alpha natin is, or the significance level is 0.01. That is 1%. Now, let's see yung, para makuha natin yung critical value. So we have 12 and then 0.01, that is the significance level. So makikita natin dito. Ito yung 12. I'll be putting circle here. So yan yon, and then nakalagay dyan is 1% for the one-tailed test. So one-tailed test, ito siya 0.01, ito siya. And then ang katapat niya is 10. Therefore, the critical value is equal to 10. The critical value is equal to 10. Now, so the sum of the negative is negative 78, and then the sum of the positive rank is 0. Then let's now proceed with the null hypothesis. So that is, there is no significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program, while the alternative naman is there is a significant difference between the two. Now, the number of patients is 12, and then the sum of the negative is negative 78, and we know that the alpha or the significance level is 0.01, that is 1%, and the critical value 10 saan natin nakuha from here. So this is a table for the critical value. So ito yung 12, and then we have this alpha 0.01, and then ang katapat niya rito is 10. So this is the critical value 10. So for the decision, as you can see, we have 10 and then we have negative 78. So if the critical value is 10, and the sum of the negative is negative 78, and we know that the sum of the positive is 0, we will just be comparing 0 and 10. So kapag yung critical value ay mas malaki sa positive, sa sum of the positive, if the critical value is greater than or equal to the sum of the positive, then we have to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. So, ang critical value natin is 10, and we know that 10 is greater than 0, then therefore, for the decision is we have to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. Now, therefore, what is the decision? So, or what is the conclusion? So for the conclusion, there is significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program. So ito yung magiging conclusion natin with the following solution we did with all the solvings that we did. Since the critical value is greater than the sum of the positive, then we have to reject the null hypothesis, which is yung nagsasabi na there is no significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program, and we have to accept the alternative hypothesis. Accepting the alternative hypothesis gives us a conclusion that there is a significant difference between the pre and the post 3-week strength program. So this is the computation for it. And actually from the given table pa lang, from the given data, the pre and then the post result, makikita natin na meron naman talagang pagbabago from walang strength program and from sa and to the 3-week strength program. So all the patients na nagdaan sa 3-week strength program mas talagang lumaki or tumaas yung strength nila in doing the planking. So that is how we do, and that is how we use the Wilcoxon signed rank test. Thank you for listening. I hope that you have learned something from this.